Hi folks, welcome to the Amazing Education channel. Thank you very much for watching. My videos are not really incredible because all I have is my phone for a camera, so it's more about listening to the ideas. It's not about the video. Thank you very much. Please like, thumbs up, and subscribe. Now, if you're interested in investing and saving money up for the future, you need a long-term horizon, and this is about electric vehicles, batteries, energy companies, and so on. So it looks like if you want to invest, it's a good idea to use a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. And yes, it's just for education, entertainment purposes only. But so with 10% of your money that you might want to learn about investing yourself, maybe use 10% of your savings. And I really recommend electric vehicles and battery companies and energy, because the United States, it looks like we're going to, in the next 8 years, so by 2030, we will have almost all new cars become either plug-in hybrid electric or full battery electric vehicles, and maybe 10% or less of cars and vehicles would be gasoline or diesel. And so it means that sales of electric car companies should be going up, although it's difficult to buy stock that's reasonably priced right now. Markets are way overvalued. But you could look into electric companies like the utility stocks, because they're going to need to provide a lot more electricity, so their sales should go up. Not only that, a lot of them are very stable, and even their prices are sort of set, which actually could make them lose money if they're required to provide much more electricity. But anyway, that's something to look into. You got to do your own research, but their sales should go up. And guaranteed they're not going to go out of business, because they generally have monopolies, and especially solar power and wind power are pretty much going to, well, any renewable, and also like hydroelectric or even nuclear power should do really well. And so sales of companies in this area should do well. And you can find exchange traded funds, which is like a mutual fund, but it's called an ETF. Most of them are not actively managed. It's just an automatic fund. And you can find them in solar power, which is I think there's TAN, T-A-N. That's one of the solar power ETFs. And there's one for the wind power, which is FAN, FAN. That's an ETF for wind power. And these are growing areas of the economy. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely growing. And so you need to actually learn about Warren Buffett and his methods of when to buy stock when it's slightly undervalued, and so it's on sale. And that's the best way. If you try buying stocks right now, they could be overvalued, because the entire market is overvalued right now. But you need to understand about the management, about their long-term profitability. They need at least 7 years of profits, history, and good management. And then you need to buy when the price is right. So you might need to wait a few years, but you could buy just a little bit and wait for some kind of stock market crash or a bear market. And we're in a time right now where it's people are really waiting for it, because the markets are about 150% overvalued, so they could easily drop 60%. And that's just a generality. Macroeconomics is not really as important as individual companies and how they are doing, and how their stock is doing. And so just look at the individual stocks. You don't have to worry about the general market being overvalued or undervalued. if you can find a good stock that's at a good price, it's a good time to buy it. And however, look for many more stocks to be well priced in the next 4 years as we have a bear market or some kind of crash. And so that would be wonderful. A great time to buy, although not good for the economy, not good for jobs. But in a way, you have to wonder if very wealthy people that have money, they want to invest, they don't sort of encourage poor decision making. And poor decision making, I would say, is what's called buying on margin, basically borrowing money to invest. Absolutely never do that. Never get in debt, because it's hard to go bankrupt if you are not in debt. And it's a good way to make money is to not have debt and you're using your own money. Risk your own money, don't risk other people's money. And it's a safe way to go. And don't have credit cards and so on and so forth. That's right. You don't want a good credit score. No, you don't, because it means people want to lend you money so that you lose money and you end up paying them. You're always going to pay more when you borrow money, because you have to, it's a business and you got to pay them back their percentage, whatever it is, 18%, 5%, 6%, 3%, whatever it is. They're going to get tons of money from you when you think about buying on margin. Also risking your money with options and puts and calls and derivatives and stuff. People will tell you, oh, gosh, I made millions, millions from using these so-called stock options and covered calls and who knows what. But the wealthiest investor on the planet doesn't use any of those things. Just own a company that produces goods at a profit, that's a leader. They got to be a leader in their area of business, and they have to have a good stock price which is below their intrinsic value or below their book value. So I made another video recommending Panasonic, but you need to look into their management and their future growth possibilities. The price in February, folks, it's March of 2022. Stock price of Panasonic, which is an OTC, over-the-counter OTC stock, and you need to look it up and do your own research. But it seems to be very low price right now, and it might be close to the book value or intrinsic value of the company. And so look into that. It could be a wonderful buy because it is in the electric vehicles and batteries and energy area somewhat, and they make batteries for Tesla. But as I said, there's another video I made about that. So this video is more just about why it's a good idea to invest in electric vehicle companies. But invest at a good time when the price is right. Look into price to earnings growth, which is the PEG ratio. Look into the PE ratio as it would change over time based on their sales growth. And hopefully, in the next 5 years, if you invest in a particular stock, as their sales grow, the PE ratio comes down to a reasonable level. Because right now, a lot of PE ratios are crazily high. Over 170 price to earnings, I believe, for Tesla, and for other companies it's also very high. And because so many people are interested in it, it's really a bubble or a boom in electric vehicles and related companies, the batteries and so on, like BYD, CATL, LG Energy or LG Chem, SK Innovation, and so on. People know that they're making good batteries, and there's a huge demand, so the prices might not be good. That's why you have to do your own research and buy at a time when prices are good. And in the next 4 years, it looks like we're having a bear market or not much movement, but you might need to buy now because the prices and sales may only go up, and it's very hard to predict. It's unpredictable, and there's always the aspect of possibly losing everything. So you need a financial advisor. Absolutely, most of you, 90% of you, need a financial advisor. But with 10% of your savings that you don't mind losing, you can get in and learn something and do a little investing. And if you really don't mind losing, maybe do some trading, but that's not a good way because you end up paying short-term capital gains taxes if you make a lot of money. And so long-term is usually much better, much more reasonable. And anyway, so take a look at those, and please comment, like, and subscribe about which company and which stock is really good, because in the next 10 years, 8 to 10 years, there's going to be maybe a 90% increase, or much more than that. I guess could be 900% increase in electric car sales, even more. And because right now in the United States, it's like between 2 and 5%. So it's got to go way up, get closer to 100%. So it's a huge increase percentage-wise. And you have to do the math. And please comment when you do what's a good investment. Thank you very much. Have a great day.